This call is now being recorded.
Good day, everyone. I'm Ria Christine N. Egenias, and allow me to present my basic research titled Write Right or Write Right: The Writing Conventions of Selected Grade 11 Online Distance Learning Students of Emiliano Tria Terona Memorial National Integrated High School, academic year 2020 to 2021. During this crisis, we have seen an incredible amount of efforts to use technology to support remote learning. The continued use of digital technologies prove how beneficial these are in the new normal in education. Based on education.ay.gov, teachers across grade levels and disciplines include writing to learn primarily as an instructional tool to promote learning regardless of the learning delivery modality. Authorities like Pablo and Lasaten in 2018 agree that writing is one of the highest forms of academic skills. That's why here in the Philippines, writing has been given great emphasis in the educational system. Now, how do we check one's level of proficiency in writing? Of course, certain standards or conventions have to be observed. Based on Lilydale High School in 2015, conventions are the mechanical correctness of a piece of writing and include five elements: spelling, punctuation, capitalization, grammar or usage, and paragraphing. The researcher, as an ODL teacher, had seen the areas in the learner's writing outputs that need serious attention: careless writing, taking shortcuts, errors in capitalization, indentation, spelling, and grammar, among others. The purpose of this research is to determine the writing conventions that learners neglect and observe to be able to describe the writing outputs that they generally produce. Here are the key literature which have motivated me to pursue the study. First, authorities surveyed today's digital tools have tangible, beneficial impacts on student writing. But as much as it has beneficial impacts, it too has some undesirable effects on their writing, including the creep of informal language and style into formal writing. This was according to Purcell et al. There is also this blend of speech and writing, this new hybrid which has escaped the standard conventions of English, which is called net speak. It has flaunted creativity with language and taken many shortcuts. So this explains the familiarity in the informal language and also why our students take shortcuts in their academic texts. So this is according to Boyd in 2005. The teachers have to pay attention to the students' errors and make them aware about their errors so that they can make a correction by themselves and will not do the same errors. This was according to Novianti in 2013. The respondents of the study were the grade 11 senior high school students enrolled in 21st century literature class of ETT-MNIHS in the academic year 2020 to 2021. 50 of the 138 grade 11 ADL learners became the participants using the simple random sampling technique. A validated researcher-made test was given to the subjects based on the asset writing skills test and proofreading self-test. It's a 36-item, 7-part examination or assessment, which was put into the questionnaire and was sent via Google Form to the respondents for their accomplishment. Quantitative research method was used to interpret the hardly observed writing conventions. Research conventions or research questions were addressed with a descriptive statistic. Percentage to know how many of the participants gave a particular answer. Problem number 1. What is the respondent's profile in terms of age, gender, and strength? Tables 9.1 to 9.3 shows the distribution of respondents according to age, gender, and strength. Problem number 2. What are the respondents' commonly violated writing conventions? So on your screen, you are seeing two colors of the vertical bar chart. The colored blue represents the item that has been answered correctly by the respondents. And then the colored orange vertical bar charts represent the items which the respondents have answered incorrectly. So these are these figures show what were the commonly violated writing conventions of the students. Part 1, punctuation. Part 3, spellings, phrases, and punctuations. Part 4, more punctuations, dashes, and hyphens. Part 5, pluralisation, superfluities, and easily confused words. Part 6, numbers, names, italics, and accents. So, figures 9.1 to 9.5 revealed the participants' commonly violated conventions or language errors. So these research findings are supported by Norhaida's study in 2018, in which 552 errors in punctuations, specifically in commas, were committed by the students. Since majority of the test parts were violation to punctuations. Problem number 3. How do we now describe the students' writing outputs? So based on the test parts that the respondents have very well performed to, such as part 2, language use, and part 7, subjunctives, pronouns, and more. This can be used to describe the students' writing outputs. So since figures 9.5 and 9.6 reveal that the participants mostly observed writing conventions where language use, subjunctives, and pronouns, that also explains what kind of writing outputs the respondents have. So these findings are supported by Yuli and Halimi's study in 2020, in which it says that a familiar topic with personal experience significantly affected students' vocabulary production. So furthermore, the students had a positive perception of writing tasks with topic familiarity. The study's results somehow has shown the difficulties that students encounter when asked to write academic texts. Of course, besides the one revealed here, we know for a fact that there are still more. Respondents did well in the language use and subjunctives and pronouns test parts. This may indicate that the participants have the ability to express their desired message in few words as possible, and their sentence constructions are clearer. The results also imply that technology has affected uh, the way students write. So there is too much use in the informal language, and then at the same time, there's just too much shortcuts. Conclusions. So the results have shown the difficulties that students encounter, and this is an indication of their weak foundation on the basic of the English language, or on the foundations of the English language. Since the findings showed that the participants did well in part 2, or language use, this may indicate the subjects have the ability to express their desired message in a few words as possible. And also, since they performed well in answering part 7, or on subjunctives and pronouns, this indicates that familiarity to these make their sentence constructions clearer and smoother in academic writing. So for my recommendations, the students should be given a very strong foundation on writing. So this can only be done by proficient teachers. That's why I have always believed that the best teachers should be put in the elementary level where students are in their formative years. Next, there should also be consistency in giving writing activities. As much as there is consistency in providing writing activities to students, there also should be proficiency in reading or checking their work, providing the appropriate and constructive feedback or comments, and then at the same time, these writing outputs shall also be given back to them for them to know the areas that they should be working on. And lastly, teachers to give writing activities with strict patterns or guidelines to follow. Instead of usually giving them essays to work on where a lot of input are subjective, technical writing should also be given of utmost importance. And then the last slide shows the list of references that I have referred to during the conduct of the study. So that ends my presentation. Thank you for listening, and good day. Bye, everyone. Thank you.